Anna Scott Mitchell, President of Rho Kappa Honor Society, and I would like to welcome you all to Washington School's annual Veterans Day tribute, where we honor all those who have served and are currently serving our country. Now, I would like to introduce Hannah Mills, Vice President of Rho Kappa Honor Society, to say the invocation.
Please bow your heads. Dear God, we thank you for letting us gather here today to honor the men and women who have served our country with courage and dedication. We ask that you bless them for their sacrifices they made so that we can live in freedom and peace. Be with those still serving today, protect them, and bring them home safely. May we remember with gratitude those veterans who have passed away. May their service and sacrifice never be forgotten. Amen.
Please remain standing for the presentation of the colors by Troops 4071 and 4043, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the National Anthem by the Kindergarten Choir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to Washington School. For those of you that I have not met yet, my name is Chris Chafich and I'm the head of school here. And today I have the distinct honor to introduce our guest speaker. Retired Captain Martin L. Mitchell graduated from Obannon High School in Greenville, Mississippi in 1989. He received an associate's degree in liberal arts from Mississippi Delta Community College in 1992. He then attended Delta State University, where he completed his BS and MS in biology in 1999. While at Delta State, he was a member of their 6-time Division II National Championship cheerleading program, as well as a member of the Phi Kappa Alpha fraternity, and was also inducted into the Omicron Delta Kappa Honor Society. Captain Mitchell joined the Mississippi Army National Guard in November of 1988. He enlisted as a combat medic and was mobilized for Operation Desert Storm in 1990-91. He transferred to HHB 2-114 Field Artillery Regiment in 1994, where he had positions in operations in the Fire Direction Center for the battalion. He attended the Officer Candidate School at Camp Shelby here in Mississippi, Fort McClellan, Alabama in 2004-2005. From there, he attended his Field Artillery Officer Basic course at Fort Sill in Oklahoma. After graduation, Captain Mitchell was assigned to Alpha Battery 2-114 FA Regiment in Ackerman, Mississippi as a platoon leader. He also served as a TAC officer for the state OCS program at the 154th RTI, 4th General Studies Battalion at Camp Shelby, as well as the 200th Regiment OCS Training Company at Fort McClellan, Alabama. Captain Mitchell was mobilized again in 2009-2010 for Operation Iraqi Freedom. He served as a platoon leader and executive officer for the Alpha Battery in Mosul, Iraq. Captain Mitchell retired in March of 2016. He currently lives in both Batesville and Greenville, Mississippi, and owns BL Mitchell Incorporated in Leland. He also works with Drew Martin and the Martin family with Old South Distribution in Batesville, Mississippi. He served as board president for the Greenville YMCA in 2018. He attends Independent Presbyterian Church in Batesville, Mississippi. He still serves currently as an advisor for the Officer Candidate School at Camp Shelby, as well as the Graduation Committee Chairman and the Master of Ceremonies. At this time, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you Captain Martin L. Mitchell.
Good morning, Washington School. I hear y'all have a pretty good football team around here. Is that right? Is that right? Are y'all playing in the second round of the playoffs? You had to bye for the first round. Is that correct? Who y'all playing, Leake County or Leake Academy? Y'all want to win that game? I think you are. Next slide, please. This is back in the day. As you can see, y'all may recognize that field. I actually played football here back in 1986 and 87. Unfortunately, I didn't get to graduate from here. I had to go to Obannon, but I did get to play football here, and actually I had hair back in the day. But I can tell you now, if you take a couple of classes with Coach Justin Levy at the YMCA, you'll look like this too. And then, of course, I had to throw a little cheerleading up there from Delta State. That was quite an honor as far as being able to win 2 national championships in Division II at Delta State. Next slide, please. We were hoping this slide would play, but I don't know if it's going to play or not. But, well, there were some pretty high baskets, but unfortunately we can't get the slides to play today. But it is part of the game. We just have to move ahead, right? Next slide, please. Of course, we talk about the origin of Veterans Day, because I think a lot of people get confused on what Veterans Day is and Memorial Day is. So let's just talk about that for just a moment. Veterans Day originated as Armistice Day, marking the end of World War I, when fighting ceased on November the 11th of 1918. The day was first observed in 1919 in honor of those who served in World War I. In 1954, after World War II and the Korean War, the U.S. Congress renamed Veterans Day to honor all American veterans, both living and deceased, who served in the armed forces. It continues to observe on the 11th day of November as tribute to those who have served in their sacrifice. Next slide, please. I would like to take time right now to thanking our veterans from Vietnam and Korea, and if we have any World War II veterans, please stand and be recognized. Let's give them a round of applause. Just to let you know, it's their sacrifice that has made the military what it is now. I have to apologize. I would like to go back and thank Mr. Shakricks for allowing me to speak, Anna Mitchell for inviting me to come to speak, and I have to apologize. I should have recognized that we also have a former Adjutant General for the state of Mississippi here, General Lipscomb. Would you please stand? I think a lot of people don't realize that what is now the Mid-Delta Regional Airport used to be actually the Greenville Air Force Base back in 1942 and was commissioned. Actually, my grandfather, my dad's father, actually sold the uniforms to them back in the 1940s. It was decommissioned back in 1966 and was transferred to the Civilian Authority, which is now the Mid-Delta Regional Airport at this time. Next slide. I was going to talk about some of the people that were in my family that actually served during World War II in Korea. This is my uncle, great uncle Clyde Murray Litton, Master Sergeant. He was a medic in World War II. Next slide, please. And I apologize for the run-on sentence, but he was actually awarded the Asian Pacific Campaign Medal and the American Defense Service Medal. And these were awarded during December the 7th, 1941 to March the 2nd of 1946. Does everybody know what happened on December the 7th back in 1941? Does anybody know what we call that day? Pearl Harbor, right? The day that the Japanese military decided to attack the United States and brought us into World War II. Next slide. This is my cousin. We call him CB, but it was Cliff Metters, and he was in Vietnam. And think about this. When you're playing sports or you're out in the rain or you're playing on a wet field and how wet and dirty you get, and you're only dirty or wet for a couple hours and you get to get cleaned up. Imagine being in an environment where you are out there for months on end. And he used to tell me stories that they stayed so wet and so entrenched in those jungles that they literally walked their socks off their feet. And you're like, what does that mean? It means they were so wet that their socks literally disintegrated inside their boots. Could you imagine living like that? We can't even stand to get out in the rain. Imagine what those people have done for us in this country. I think sometimes we lose focus of that, of how very lucky we are to live in this great country. Next slide, please. And this is my uncle, great Uncle Morris, and he was a medic too. Apparently he liked taking pictures with the nurses, and even back in the 40s. And when he died about 10 years ago, he was the same way. I mean, my mother tried to get him under control, and there was just no way to get him under control. So he was always one with the ladies. Next slide, please. Just some more pictures of Uncle Morris. And the next slide, if you don't mind. And he was also awarded the Asian Pacific Campaign Ribbon for combat operations in the Philippines and Japan. So, like I said, it's just funny things that, you know, if you go back and look in your history, you have probably plenty of your family that have done lots of things. Next slide I'm going to bring, this is going to probably make you laugh when you see it, but you would think you probably wouldn't see fast food restaurants in the desert. But there you go. Does that say McDonald's on there to y'all? Can y'all read that in Arabic? You have McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken in certain places. We even had a Subway and even a Taco Bell. So, and even a Burger King in certain parts, if they weren't trying to drop a bomb on you. So, and of course we can't, next slide, and we can't leave our teachers out. And yes, we have Starbucks over there too for the teachers and our coaches and everybody. So they even had green beans over there. But, you know, it's just accommodation. That just kind of proves to you the kind of military changes that have happened over the years compared to what a lot of these gentlemen had to go through. Things have progressed so much that you actually have those kind of adequacies that you can actually have, you know, just a little bit of what you have at home compared to what they lived through. So that's one thing we always want to keep in mind, is that our life is so much better for the sacrifices that a lot of people before us came through. Next slide, please. When we were in Iraq, this is part of Harbor Gate. Iraq is divided into 3 sections. The north part is for the Kurdish area, the center part with the Sunnis, and the southern part with the Shiites. So it's 3 factions, 3 different type of religions. This is part of the place where you could actually go around up north where you didn't have to have your full, what we call full battle rattle, like full weapons and full military equipment on. So, and this actually, some of the ladies, you know, we can go to the store and pick up a loaf of bread and everything else. This is actually them actually making bread right there on a hot oven, on stone oven. Next slide, please. Of course, they have organized school up in the north with the Kurdish area. Now, I know how your headmaster looks. You think that she's a little bit nicer than he is? I'd probably be scared to go. I would probably be scared to cross her. But, you know, like I said, in the Kurdish area, they see life a little bit different, where most people over there, they mostly just want men to be in control, and then you have actually women that can be in leadership positions. Next slide. And of course, this is the future of Iraq. Like I said, like y'all are the future of this country that I'm looking up out here now, that is the future of their country. Next slide. Of course, the last time we were in Iraq in 2009 and 10, or the last time I was deployed, we were in Mosul, Iraq. And we did convoy security and quick reaction force. So what we actually did is the 18-wheelers that you see on the road everywhere, we were their security. So we would actually secure about 90 18-wheelers and support them from all the way to Harbor Gate, which is a mile from the Turkish border, all the way down to Tikrit where Saddam Hussein was born, which I'm sure y'all read about that in the books, but that's been so many years ago, y'all probably really don't talk about that as much anymore. Next slide, please. This is something I wanted to focus on because this is St. Elijah Monastery, built in the 6th century. This was the oldest Christian church in the Middle East. Think about when you get to go to church on Sundays and practice your religion, whatever denomination you may be, and, you know, you do it freely and no one, you know, you don't have to worry about persecution or anything happening. Next slide, please. Back in 2010, about the time we were leaving, or my unit was leaving, I'm sure y'all have heard the word ISIS, or the acronym ISIS. Well, they were coming into northern Iraq. And they were a very hardcore religious faction that didn't want anything to do with Christianity or anything as far as their faction. And that monastery, the oldest church or Christian church in the Middle East, was bombed and destroyed. So there would be no replica of it all. And that monastery survived 2 wars, the invasion by the United States and its allies in 2003. The Iraqi military used it as a staging ground, which the 82nd Airborne kicked them out. And of course, then historians came in and restored it, and then they came in and destroyed it. So history was destroyed simply for the fact because they were Christians. That's something to think about. Next slide, please. And we talk about the weather. I know it's a little cool right now, and you know, and we're like, sometimes it rains, sometimes, but there is nothing you can beat when you have a sandstorm coming in and it lasts 2 or 3 days and you can't even see your hand in front of your face. Next slide, please. And I'm sure y'all have heard about these IEDs, or these improvised explosive devices. Our military is one of the strongest militaries in the world. But even when you're in factions, they learn ways to counteract that. And this is something simple as a cell phone and 2-liter bottles, and they would actually fill them with ammonium nitrate, nails, and ball bearings, and put a blasting cap. And they could wire a cell phone to it, use a PIR, which is just a simple, what you use to open up your carport door, or they could actually put a weight in ice, and then they would leave, and for hours that ice would melt, and finally that weight would hit that trigger and set off that IED. Next slide, please. Like I said, just something simple and rogue, but it can do a lot of damage. Next slide. After I got back from Iraq and I became Alpha Battery's firing battery commander, and we were hoping this video will play. Hopefully it will. That is a 94-pound round that's being shot about 14 miles. And I have to caveat on this is that Colonel Rod Edwards is out in this audience too, and he is an armored guy. And of course, as soon as he saw the video, he said, "I can't believe you have that artillery mess out there you're going to talk to this school about." But unfortunately, it just is what it is. I apologize to you, sir. Next slide, please. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. As far as being a commander, this is probably one of the best jobs you could have, because we would actually invite the families and the bosses down to Camp Shelby, and we were bringing them out to firing point 90 and 119. And when we would lay the weapons, we'd actually hook up a 50-foot lanyard to the gun and actually let them shoot the weapon. Go ahead, please, Mr. Flanagan. This is Family Day in Boss Lift, Camp Shelby, 2013. This is our Walmart representatives, came all the way down from Columbus, or support us, and they're actually going to get the full 50-yard lanyard on the gun. Yeah, hey, y'all, help her. Hey, Rudy, make sure y'all are there. All right, Mr. Flanagan, let's see if this other one will play. Sometimes you have technical difficulties, you have to move through them. Anyway, like I said, as far as being a commander, that was probably one of the best days to be able to bring the families down there and let them see what we do for a living. Next slide, please. And Officer Candidate School. I'm sure you've seen your teachers, and back in the day, trying to put you on time, and that's probably one of the most rewarding jobs I think I had in the military, is training future leaders it would lead y'all. And I have to say, actually, I enjoyed working with Colonel Rod Edwards. We actually worked down at Camp Shelby together as well. Next slide, please. Why I stand, or why we all stand. And this is just a little part of what you look at Memorial Day. And this is the unfortunate part sometimes of war. Not everybody gets to be brought home. And that's one thing that I have to say that I am happy to see that still happens at Washington School and other academies, that y'all are one of the few people at your sporting events that still do the invocation and the national anthem. And what a privilege that is. I know you may think it's minuscule in the big scheme of things, but I'm telling you, that is a privilege. Okay, next slide, please. We were hoping these were going to play. We're going to try to see if they would. That's okay, Mr. Flanagan. I'll just talk about it. But anyway, you know, there's nothing like going beats our military like a flyover parachute drop before a football game. Of course, we were trying to get to play, but that's actually a B-2 bomber that flew over Ole Miss before the LSU game. Hotty toddy. And of course, the other slide we were trying to get to play, and I hate it's not going to play. It may play, but that's okay, Mr. Flanagan. That's actually the parachute drop for the game ball and the American flag at the Mississippi State game this past weekend against Georgia. So, because I know everybody, we got people that are fans of one or the other. It's okay, we could be fans of both, right? Next slide. A few things I'm going to close with just to, give you some food for thought. I have to say, with the political climate, we as adults owe y'all's generations an apology. We really haven't shown y'all how you need to learn how to compromise and work together. And I have to be the first one to apologize to y'all for that. I know y'all see the news, I know y'all see the stuff that's online, and I know you hear your parents and teachers talking. And we owe you an apology for that, because we're better than that. Y'all should be able to see a bunch of 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe 70-year-old people be able to work together and compromise and come to a common ground. So we owe you an apology for that, and we need to do better for y'all. A couple of things I want to also leave you with. Listen to your parents. Listen to your teachers, your coaches, and your church leaders. They have the experience. Give them the time to listen. I know it's hard in this day that you want to listen and you don't want to listen to authority, but those four groups of people will lead you in the right direction. Number two, volunteer for stuff. Always try to help out when you can help out. And don't always expect something for it in return. Number three, respect each other. Always be willing to listen to somebody else even when you don't want to. It takes us all to make this world work, and you have to give each other a chance. Number four, for one time, put your cell phones down and don't look at them. Have a conversation with somebody where you don't have to check for a message or your social media or whatever it may be. Have eye contact with somebody and have a discussion with them without having to worry about showing them something. And don't let social media drive who you are. Too many people in this world now are letting social media determine who they are. Don't let that be you. Be your own person. And the last thing I want to say before we do the last slide, when you think that you are being treated unfairly or your teachers are giving you too much homework or your parents are trying to tell you you can't do this or that, I want y'all to go in your bedroom and look around. I want you to look in your closet and look at all those clothes and stuff. And then look at all your devices and if you have those stuff. And if you're old enough, and then I want you to go in your kitchen, and I want you to look in your refrigerator and your pantry. And then if you're old enough, I want you to go outside and look in that driveway. And just remember, you live in the best country in the world. And there are people that are just trying to feed their family and have no way to do it. And the last thing I want to leave you with is this poem that we used to, it's called What Makes a Champion, but we converted it and called it What Makes a Leader. I think what makes a leader is obvious enough. It isn't mystical and magical stuff. It's nothing more than giving whatever be the core, the power that is in you, and just a little more. It isn't being a wizard. It's not a magic gift. It's merely lifting honestly the load you have to lift. Or in the game you're playing, it's using all you store of grit, nerve, and energy, and just a little more. The thing that makes a leader is simple, plain, and clear. It's not being almost one, just one, or even pretty near. It's summoning the utmost of your spirit's inner core and giving every bit of it and just a little more. That little more, how much it is, as deep and wide as far, as enormous, emptiness from a molehill to a star, the gulf between the earthbound and the eagles as they soar, the leaders who give us their best, and just a little more. Thank you, Washington School. I greatly appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. Happy Veterans Day to my fellow veterans. Have a great day and good luck on Friday night. And let's make one more step closer to that state championship. Hua? At this time, when your song, I apologize, at this time, when your service song is played, please stand when your branch is called. And that's for our veterans.
Now we would like to recognize veterans that are special to WS students.
At this time, we're going to introduce and recognize each of our veterans individually. When your name is called, please stand. I do apologize ahead of time if I mispronounce a name. And I do ask that we keep our applause to the very end. We'll have plenty of time. Mr. Richard Alcott, Marines. Mr. Jim Allen, Marines. Mr. Bill Andrews, Navy. Mr. James Ashmore, Army. Dr. John Pelham Burge, Air Force. Mr. Dan Tuning, Army. Mr. Jay Clifton, Army, one of our own. Mr. Will Coppage, Air Force. Mr. John M. Dean, Jr., Coast Guard. Mr. Mac Durastanti, Army. Mr. Rod Edwards, Army. Mr. Billy Fountain, Army. Mr. Mike George, Navy. Mr. Terry Gibbs, Navy. Mr. Clay Gibson, Army. Mr. Greg Jones, Navy. Mr. Al Kosman, Army. Mr. Jim Lipscomb, Air Force. Mr. Larry Lovett, Army. Mr. David Mason, Marines. Mr. Dan McCaskill, Air Force. Mr. Harold McGar, Army. Mr. Martin Mitchell, Army. Mr. Ron Powell, Marines. Mr. William Powell, Army. Mr. Ronnie Stewart, Air Force. Mr. Frank Stone, Coast Guard. Mr. Steve Sweet, Navy. Reverend Arthur Thomas, Army. Matthew Hudson, Air Force. Daters Lee, Army. Frank Contreras. Christina Donnerson, Army. J.W. Donnerson III, Army. Harry Coleman, Army, National Guard. DeWandrius Caldwell, Army. William McCorkle, Army, one of our own. Austin Levitt, Army. Scott Jonley, Marines. William Aldridge, Army. Overgy Wiley III, Army. Arthur Davis, Army. Levi Davis, Army. Bluefus Davis Jr., Army. Let's give all of our vets a round of applause. At this time, I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Miss Yvette McPherson here in the front row. Stand up, Yvette, please. She is our Rho Kappa sponsor, and she is in charge of this event and putting it together. She did a fine job. Let's give her a round of applause. Yep, absolutely. I also want to say thank you to her Rho Kappa group for their combined effort on putting this together and helping her get through this and putting out such a great event today. Awesome event. I don't know this for sure, but in my 4 years, this is my fourth one, this is by far the most vets that we've had here. So I'm proud of the effort that Rho Kappa and Ms. McPherson put together and having everybody here. I also want to say thank you to our K5 group who started us out today with the national anthem. They did a fine job, and yeah, Miss Box and Miss Farmer did a great job organizing them. So, last but not least, I want to thank all of our vets for being here today. Today is such a special day in our country. I got goosebumps at times when Captain Mitchell was up here giving his speech. And yes, we do live in the greatest country in the world, and I hope that we do not take advantage of that. And I hope that we recognize that daily and understand that it could be a whole lot worse, even when you're having your worst day. So thank everybody for being here, and God bless America, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. I mean, at this point, I went through.
Students, stay seated, please. Students, stay in your seats, please.
That's why. It wasn't marked.
Got it.
That's exactly why.
No, that's fine.
And so,
That's fine.
I went through every page.
No, that's okay. She just wanted to make